nerds.
We're here. It's just, you know what? Team J is not specific enough. Because that includes Jordan, too. I didn't even think about that. Jordan has the plague.
Jordan has the plague.
Will not be joining us today. Hopefully yeah. Hopefully Baby J is better.
Avian. I am Ray. What's going on? Ghost Hunter, Epic Beard. Megalodon, what's happening? Dooba Babu. Tim.
Pepe, please.
Not everybody.
Epic Beard, I don't understand. The con has claimed another one. It's such a small con, too.
Kenny was like, I have COVID. So he's not streaming today.
Great.
I mean, the COVID test is anything that you're sick is what the COVID test picks up. Yeah. But he's sick is the takeaway there.
That it even matters. If you're sick, just stay home. Get better. I am sad nerd. My angry lady hockey puck is delayed by the postal service. Well, it is winter. And most days here...
So can we all reflect on what the postal service's motto is?
Hey, that doesn't help us at all.
I mean, it's not our fault if the postal service doesn't get their stuff there anyway.
We'll tell people that because people think it is.
But I'm sick of, like, literally the postal service's motto is
yes,
nor rain, nor sleet, nor snow, nor hail, dragons.
Yeah. Dead of night. They will deliver. Megalodon said last year went to Gen Con, 90,000 people, was fine. Went to CMON Expo, 300 people got COVID. You let your guard down at the smaller shows. Oh, I was a teacher.
What is this let your guard down?
I don't let my guard down on anything. I just wash my hands.
I don't understand let your guard down. That makes it sound like you have a proactive approach. Does that mean like you at the small show you just didn't take your vitamins or something? I'm not one to talk. Concrud can get you. Shaking babies and kissing hands.
Yep.
Not the safest thing in the world, turns out.
Were you looking knobs at the small show you wouldn't otherwise? We didn't go. We're fine. You didn't drink enough paint? I don't know.
That's not how that works.
Easy to not think about hand sanitizer and distance when it's a small, intimate show, but when your ass is to elbows with 90,000 people, you're constantly reminded how gross people are and sanitize every few seconds. I don't know. So again, I was a teacher. I don't use hand sanitizer because it's terrible.
Horrible for you.
And I just wash my hands a lot, and I always have. And I did get sick this year, but it's been a long time since I've gotten
that kind of
sick. You know,
for sure.
Everybody gets little colds and allergies and things like that throughout the year, but you know. Wash your hands. Don't be afraid to go outside. Be around people.
Eat some dirt. Play with your dog.
Yeah.
This year's crud sure lingers, though. This cough has been plaguing us. I could be done with and be quite okay with that. Number one rule: do not snog people at conventions. What is a snog? Do I want to know?
Shouldn't make out with people.
No tongue.
Yeah. Ghost Hunter said that cloak is so pretty.
Thank you, thank you. I'm digging it. Still in the very sketchy phase on all this stuff, so about time to pull it together.
Game Delay said, Happy Tuesday. It was a long week yesterday, so today must be Saturday. I mean, if that works, then I like it.
I'm down. Can today be Friday?
Yeah.
Although I have things due, right, that I need to get done, so it can't just miraculously turn into Friday, because that means I will have lost all my time to do the things I need to do. I'm currently fighting the keep your sanity part, battling my to-do list, so. Don't need it to get too crazy.
T. Schmidt, hello. We're well. Jordan, however,
not so much.
Not so much. Ghost Hunter said you have to perfect Olive Drab this week, Jason.
Funny story.
Funny story you already have? That's from The Punisher.
Maybe. No promises. Olive Drab is a weird one too, because I can say, yeah, we made Olive Drab. And you can get the color I made and be like, you're a liar.
Mm-hmm. Like khaki.
Because drab is like khaki. It doesn't always match everybody's expectations. Yeah. There's no specific olive drab color that you can go to. It's not a single pigment or anything. So the way people mix it is very different. Sometimes it is more of a khaki looking color.
Gabe said, did you just say olive drab is butt khaki?
Yes, butt khaki.
Did you? No.
No, not at all what I said. But thanks, Gabe.
Wad Tomato, be careful. Ghost Hunter is... Was it Ghost Hunter that's disappointed in the mail? Yeah. It's delayed. Choppers McGee said part of the problem with people's perception of olive drab is that there's no green in it. It's ochre or yellow and black. We do probably need to share some news that might be a little disappointing, and that is that we have to end early today.
Oh yeah, we got to end at like 3:30 today, because I have a 4 o'clock meeting clear across town, and Baby J being out has made that a little more difficult.
Could we get a khaki called Have You Ever Lost Your Khaki? Which Avian says it's a Medicine Man reference, folks.
A what?
I don't know.
A who's he? What's it?
A medicine man reference. I think if you rubbed khaki with a bunch of butt, you'd pretty closely approximate olive drab. Parasylum said, going for a more silver look to the lion's armor, or are you planning on darkening it up after sketching it out?
Yep, I'm just sketching right now. We're about to the point where I'll start going back over it with other colors.
Is Jake A, how about a red shirt and khaki blend?
Red shirt and khaki blend? What am I?
Like at Target, they wear red shirts and khakis.
Oh,
I don't know. That's
Jake
the first thing I thought of. Or Jake from State Farm.
Is that what we're talking about? I don't understand what's going on.
Oh, khaki, car keys. Wait, what? Oh. Medicine Man had Sean Connery, and that's the loshed. Okay, yeah, because it was, have you ever loshed your khaki? That's the Sean Connery accent.
Oh, sure. Bond. James Bond.
Sean Connery still alive? No.
He died.
He died, right?
A couple years back. Somebody should fact check me on that, but I believe he's dead.
Sadly, no. I can't remember what my question was. Is he alive or is he not alive? I think I said, is he alive? And then the answer is sadly no. Oh, Connery. Yeah. Ooh, 2020 he died.
It says
goodness. October 31st. '90 or something.
He was not a spring chicken anymore.
He was killed in that movie Highlander because there can be only one.
Also true.
Yeah. Oh, we can't see. Doing anything?
No.
Looking.
No. I don't ever do anything. All right. Time for some black. Trying to decide if I want to hit it with the airbrush at all, but I don't think so. I think we're okay without. So let's mix up some wash. Some washa. I have 3 cups left.
Uh-oh.
That's it.
Does that mean we need to order more?
After that, no more painting.
Uh-oh.
I think there's like 5 million in the lab.
Okay.
So
I need to order some?
I know there's a whole nother sleeve of them out there.
Okay. I was going to say, I think that you are
transparent black. Wow.
You're contractually obligated to continue painting to Chuck because he gave us the recipe.
No, I just said I wouldn't stop painting. I am not contractually obligated to continue painting. I just can't stop.
Oh. Man. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out.
That's mind
Megalodon's
melting.
been in a painting funk. I haven't touched a brush since pre-Christmas. Sometimes you need a reset. It's okay. Just been playing games and goofing off with VR and video games for the past month. It's okay.
8 drops of black.
You'll get back to it. You're surrounded by miniatures. So you're going to see one someday and be like, oh, I need to paint. Interesting legalese from Slowfuse.
What's that?
That was some interesting legalese.
Yes. Is that game delay that said that?
I just can't stop. No. I can't stop painting.
I don't have to keep painting. I just can't stop.
Can't stop painting.
That means there always has to be the promise of possibly more painting. I can't just say I quit. I have to be like, might be back tomorrow. Two totally different things. Now, if I never come back tomorrow, there is an argument to be made that I quit.
Uh-huh.
But at the point in time where you make that argument, I just show up and paint.
Uh-huh.
Right? And then your argument is now not valid.
I don't know that that's
And then after
right.
I paint for a little bit, I say I might be back tomorrow. And then I just don't come back until somebody says, I think you quit. And since I can't quit, I would have to be like, no, I'm painting tomorrow. And then I come back and I paint.
Okay, whatever.
See?
Game delay.
I've had a lot of thinking.
Does this all sound like right to you?
He represents like drug dealers. So he doesn't.
Jason Walkie, thank you for the sub. I've been trying to say that since I saw it come through.
Couple drops of blue. And then, like about that much glaze wash.
Chat needs parking lot Deadpool riding on a unicorn. I know.
And then, about that much water. There you go.
If Jordan is not well enough to return to work tomorrow, then perhaps I will have some time and energy and motivation to paint my Deadpool.
Ooh, I'll produce and gentle paint solo.
That's not what I was saying at all.
I feel like that's exactly what you were saying.
Jason Walkie, sometimes after I shake my paint, when I twist the cap open, I get a little eruption of a few messy drops. Any clue what I could be doing wrong? I don't think you're doing anything wrong.
So it's pressure building in a liquid sealed container, right? Fluid dynamics, we call that. So, you know, like a bottle of any liquid, right? If the barometric pressure changes because of humidity or temperature or whatever, it can build up pressure. Our bottles actually seal. Nobody else's in the industry really seal. So if that happens and you notice when you crack the top, you get a little spritz of paint, just crack here like you would like a Coke bottle. Here, you won't hear it or anything, but, you know, just open that, let it normalize, and then you can crack it, no problem.
No
problem.
Think of like when you go on an airplane and you have a water bottle, and then it gets all sucked in, and you have to...
Too much blue. That's not what I wanted at all.
Game Delay said, sigh. The point of precision in language is to be clear and avoid problems, not to deceive. At least how I do it.
I didn't deceive anybody. I said it plainly and to the point. I cannot stop painting. Right? But I don't have to continue painting.
Okay.
Perfectly valid.
What? I think we've determined that the notes only work when you are checking out. Like if you put a note on before you hit go to checkout, we think that's where it's breaking down and where we're losing them. But if you click go to checkout and put your note in there, we think that maybe is what works, because we get a lot of orders that have notes on them. So the note function does work. There's just nuances, maybe. I don't know. So sorry that we missed yours or that we didn't get to see yours. And did you get 2 in your order, 2 bomb snow stickers? They probably stuck together. I'll have to make sure that they're looking at that. Because why do you need 2 bomb snips?
We're going to do one quick pass with a lot of water on the brush, as I normally do, with the transparent black, transparent blue, and darken everything up quite a bit. And then we'll plan to come back and do another one. Is it raining again?
Probably.
That's rain.
It is.
That is definitely rain. Got a lot of nerve. At least we don't have like 18 feet of snow.
That is, yes, fantastic.
I've seen some pictures of places where it's like, ooh, glad I don't live there.
And it's not like, I mean, 60 degrees. It's not super cold today. Tim, I'm glad I put a post-it on your order, so I'm glad that they looked at it. Didn't just like... well, Ghost Hunter, you are wrong.
Uh-oh. What's he wrong about?
Said it doesn't rain in the desert.
I mean, okay. It certainly does. Sometimes it rains really hard.
What do you mean? Did you order an Uncle Adam set and you got the right brushes but the blue handled ones? Yeah, it's pouring.
Coming down.
Because we are not out of the brush handles, and that just is an error. So I'm sorry if you got...
Yeah, email support. That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah. Support at monumenthobbies.com.
We do have, admittedly, quite a bit of new folks
we have a
here
lot of new people
right now.
Right now.
So we are battling a little bit of training issues. Mm-hmm. As always, there's a little bit of growing pain associated with that stuff.
Yeah.
So we apologize in advance if your order gets a little mix up to it, but all you gotta do is contact support.
Yeah.
They get you fixed right up.
We'll fix it. Raining yesterday and today in northern Nevada. Yeah, we're in Phoenix. It has been rainy since Sunday.
Yeah. This is really coming down.
Yeah, it is. I would definitely get new guy Philip straightened out, but he had nothing to do with that. But he needs some straightening out anyway, so we'll talk to him. We can hear it, Gabe. Like, it's so loud right now.
I'm surprised they can't hear it on the stream.
Yeah. You can
see what a
hear
big difference that makes?
Yeah.
Instantaneously?
They can hear it.
That's just blue and black, transparent, and glazed medium. So when you put together yesterday's stream and today's stream, hopefully you're starting to understand how you can paint stuff like this very, very quickly. Very good results.
Sean O'John said, technique question, I just joined. I'm wondering if you sketched the armor values and are now filtering.
Yes. You got it. We talked a lot about it yesterday. The fact that I will attack armor in a more sketchy style to get my value placements on there. A lot of times, and not just armor, skin, anything, right? If you're wanting to paint quicker, then sketching allows you to be a little bit more freeform with your placement of color, but still get the point across. It lets you kind of cheat the system almost, because you can very quickly get into a position where you see more of the final product. You just have to train your eye to be able to look past the visual nonconformity of sketching because it doesn't blend. So the end game is to have a smoother look. You have to know that in order to get there when sketching, you're going to have to just be okay with the sketchiness of it, and that your filters over the top will blend all of that back, and your final blending will fix a lot of it too, right? Because you can already see, like, if I punch in real close down here on the greave, right, that my sketchiness is starting to smooth out down there on the bottom of the leg. That had a ton of brush strokes a minute ago, as did all of this armor. But just one pass with the transparent smooths a lot of that out. And we'll go back with a second pass on some of it to darken it up even further, and that'll happen even more.
So the idea is to sketch midtones and highlights and then filter and re-highlight?
Yeah, filter and re-highlight. Because typically, your filter is going to darken the model up. I can't think of any time you'd go over with a filter that brightens things up. That's not really a thing. But there might be a technique out there that's bent on doing that. And so you push your highlights further than you might be really wanting them, is the easy way to say that. You know, so you might, if you don't normally use or wouldn't normally use a highlight like white on this armor, you then go in and you do white on this armor. Because the filter will knock that white back down to being more of a mid-tone brightness than a super high-end bright highlight. So again, when sketching for undertones and values, you've got to be able to go a little crazy, push it a little further than you might think is necessary in order to work back to the colors you really want. Like you can see how bright the backpack and this shoulder plate are over here. That's a lot brighter than I really want the armor all over like that. But I needed to go that bright because what happens is it gets dulled down like you see the rest of this. Right?
Punisher said it's called transparent white, Jason, and you invented it.
For what?
I don't know.
We're not talking about that. I mean, you could, but yeah, that's not typically what you're trying to do when filtering, right? You're
Panic
not
bomb,
really ever
hello.
going to go over a model with all transparent white, are you? I mean, maybe. Seems a little weird. Unless that model, of course, is like a white scar, and what you're trying to do is do that final blend of white over the top, but that's a different kind of filter. That's a filter for hue. We're filtering for value and hue right now. I've added the blue into the black because we want black armor, but black armor tends to read better when it has a little color to it, so the blue works really well with the fact that we did the bluish tones on the green of the cloak too. It's going to pull all that together better. Our transparents are literally the best paints in the world for doing filters because they work so well. They're so pigment rich that they have, even when thinned down, they give such a good amount of hue shift, and that pigment density helps them do all this blending that's happening here without me even trying. You know, we're just basically doing no more than applying a wash right now.
There is a question from James Syram that I feel like you probably should read because it's a little long, and I don't want it to get lost when I read it to you.
Okay. I'm working on a project with some orange cloth. I'd like to layer it a bit similar to your yellow cloth tutorial. Could I replace warm yellow for orange, layer with burnt orange, then mix burnt orange and dark flesh and come back and highlight with orange, then final orange mixed with a pale yellow or light flesh tone maybe? Yeah. I really like burnt orange, right? As a base for oranges, for sure. And then mixing in either burnt orange and orange, or if you like burnt orange and the dark flesh sounds really good, do that.
It is still just pouring rain, which is crazy.
Monster rain.
That's crazy. Game Delay said, on my January challenge, I painted up metal with dark plum and blue. Didn't love it, so knocked it back with transparent black. Built up with gray and blue, knocked it back with transparent black. Cool.
And you like the turnout?
It worked the way you had hoped. And now I want an orange.
And now what?
Now I want an orange.
Like, geez, thanks.
Are you sure there's not hail? It's very loud over here.
Yeah, no hail, but definitely lots of rain.
Yeah. We can hear every time we talk because of it like kind of silences when we're not talking.
Well, yeah, the gate kicks in.
Yeah.
The
So
noise
anytime
gate.
we talk,
And then when you talk, it's got this rumble in the background.
Yes, it is. It's pouring.
Viola. Our armor starts looking more like black. And you can keep layering this. I'll do another layer over some of these parts, some of the brighter parts, to make sure that we get more of a black feel, less of a dark blue. But that's a really good start to black armor for sure.
And now it's stopped.
Much lighter. This would still be a lot of rain if you walked outside right now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna let that dry just a little bit more. The thing when doing filters is don't go back over a filter until you've got it completely dry to the touch. We've still got those last areas we did, so we'll leave those alone for now. I'll put a base of red on the shield real quick.
Steve C. was stationed in southern Arizona. I love the monsoon season. Monsoons are the coolest. This is just cold and wet.
This is what?
Cold and wet.
Yeah.
Monsoons, like, you get the really good smell of the rain. Right now, it's so wet out there that it's just rainy.
We love it all.
Yeah. We don't get enough rain here, so it's a big deal when it happens. James Siram said, I appreciate you guys. I feel that you tend to explain color theory as in art, which my brain understands better more than just hobby techniques.
Awesome. I just try to think of it in terms of reality, like what you're going to see and what you're going to do, right? Because our brains, no matter how you like to learn, and I do say the same thing over and over and over and over again, and I try to change the language enough so that if you've listened to it 99 times, maybe it's the 100th time it clicks for you, because everybody does listen differently and hear and absorb differently. But I try to explain it in a mechanism of what we're doing with our hands and our eyes and that coordination to get the paint on the model and what it's doing in return as we blend and mix and do all the stuff that we do, rather than saying, you know, the latest keyword or buzzword to try to make it seem like, you know, hey, just do this technique. Because a lot of times that doesn't come with the definition you really need to get the final part
Jade,
done.
And hello, the real creepy kangaroo.
I love this name.
Does that mean like real creepy, or the creepy, like the real one? Like there are fake creepy kangaroos, but you're the real one.
Good question, Jen.
Huh?
Good question.
Well, you're asking the important things here.
Good question. Good to get some clarity. Like there's fake creepy kangaroos.
Yeah. Imposter creepy kangaroos out there.
Or this is just a very, very creepy kangaroo.
Yes.
Either way, I love that name.
Yeah, it doesn't matter either way. It just gives us a better understanding of who you are.
Layer of dark purple, because why not? We're painting red. So we go dark purple into burnt red. We'll just, if we get some wet blending here, that's fine.
And it's pouring again. Knock, knock. Who's there? A creepy kangaroo? I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to see some ID. Are you the real creepy kangaroo? The real one. My daughter picked the name many years ago after watching Kangaroo Jack. Ghost Hunter said, I wish my paintbrush could hold a point as well as that one has for as long as you've been testing it. It's a lot of it is just the style that he uses in his technique of painting. He's not pushing it really hard into the model.
Yeah, I have a little bit of a lighter hand, but I do squib the point around a lot, right? I bend the point quite a bit. If you've ever, I'll tell you here in just a second. Let me get this, make sure I've got all this blending done the way I want it, because it is wet blending pretty nicely, giving me a neat burgundy color there. So here's the way that I treat my brush, right? So the brush itself has whatever point it will hold. But what happens just naturally when you're painting is you'll press down on the brush and you've got a nice point and you'll make a few brush strokes and you keep the brush in the same direction. So what happens is that you wind up with the point spreading a little bit under that pressure of, no matter how light pressure or if you go heavy, it'll spread quicker. But notice how it's not as nice of a point from this direction anymore, but when I rotate it like this, it's a chisel. Look at that point. That's tremendous. This point is broad, because that's what happens. So now I switch it over, I rotate the brush. As soon as I've done enough brush strokes to start seeing my point broaden like that, I just rotate the brush over 90 degrees, so now I have that point back, and then now you can paint like this again. You get fine detail lines, all of that, and then after a few strokes, it flattens out this way, and you rotate it this way, and you have your point again. So I'm constantly rotating, usually just back and forth 90 degrees, right, as I get the point spread or not. Spread, not. And that's the way every round brush will work. And so chase the point, basically. Follow that point to where it is, because it's always somewhere on the brush. The point doesn't have to be that the brush is a perfect, like, conical shape going to a point. This side being wider and flat does you a lot of good with having the best point you'll ever have this way, right? And then you're painting basically with the edge of that point, right? Boom. And you can keep doing this. And I have never cleaned this brush.
I was just going to say, when you test them, you don't typically clean them.
We don't clean brushes as we test them. We want to see how they perform in the worst situation. See all this paint build up in the ferrule? So this brush is still handling really, really well. But I do continue to chase that point around like that. And I do that with every brush, not just the ones I'm testing. So it's a very good way to get used to painting in general.
Jake A thought there was a bundle for the entire range. Is that gone, or do I just need to look for it on the website again? Don't continue to look for it because it doesn't exist.
We do have a bigger set coming out.
Yeah.
Probably next week that we have not really talked about. That will be 69 colors.
And that'll be a one-click. It's not new colors. They're existing colors. We're just bundling a couple of the sets together. So for now, the easiest way, if you want the entire range, is just to purchase the sets.
Purchase all the sets.
And there are 12. If you go on our website and click on the paint tab and go into paint sets, there are 12 that are shown. One of them, though, the Pro Acryl starter set, has duplicate colors. So all of those colors are in other sets. We created that particular set as an intro to people who maybe are new to the hobby or new to Pro Acryl and want to just test out. It's got our best-selling colors in it, so and it has a couple brushes in it. So it's a good way for someone who's new to the hobby or someone who just is starting out with Pro Acryl and wants to try out some colors. So you can leave that one off if you're going to buy all the sets, because we don't want you to have duplicates that you don't want. So, but every other set that's there, all the remaining 11 sets, are all unique colors. There's no overlap. Good tip on the brush. Sounds like a sticker. Chase the point. Gabe. Put it on the whiteboard. Kyra said, all right, I looked away while you were doing the shield. I saw purple go down and now it's red. What witchcraft did you do?
Burnt red blended into the purple. While the purple base layer was still a little bit wet, I grabbed the burnt red real quick and went over it. Now I'm back to glazing, or filtering. It's not really a glaze. It is in terms of how thin it is, but I'm just putting paint on the model. I'm not worried about glazing brushstrokes. And I'm really only focused on the areas that are still bright. I'm not really pushing more paint into the deep areas, because those highlights will tend to go away if I put another layer on those. So this time when I put the second layer down, I'm really just focused on where the brighter highlights are, because those are the areas I'll be working back up, right? So like here on the cuff. Actually down here on the hand is pretty good, but I'm going to hit it because it's a little messy.
Nick Pie said, why do none of your local bakeries let me DoorDash you pie on this day of pie? How is this a day of pie?
Is it really? Is this the day we would have gotten pie if the other place was still open?
It's 3/14 is Pie Day.
Maybe this is technically National Pie Day.
It could be, because they make up days like that. Like, I'm sorry, I don't need a holiday to eat pie. I would eat it.
Every day is Pie Day.
That's crazy. I don't even know, I'm trying to even think of what baker, because Urban Cookies or Urban Bakery, I can't remember what it's called, only has like cookies and cupcakes. I don't think they have pie. It's National Pie Day. Oh. I feel like they got that wrong. Sean said, now it's starting to read black. Chuck, hello. Did you know that it's National Pie Day? I did not.
Now she's letting everybody know. Just thought you might want to know. National Pie Day.
Steve C said, watching Jason taught me to be patient and not to rush my minis. I've been painting for 13 months, and this stream and your Discord have been invaluable, so thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for joining the community.
Yeah.
The community doesn't work without you guys.
Absolutely.
Right? I could sit around and talk to Jen all day about painting. It doesn't really do anybody any good. We need you guys. So thank you for joining with us, following us on this journey. Some of you have been around since the beginning when we didn't make products. All we did was stream. We've been doing this live stream for 8 years now. That's crazy to say. We've enjoyed every minute of it because we get great feedback like that. Mm-hmm. And we just get to have the pleasure of having more and more people get interested in our hobby. We've had people find us that would normally be looking for a video game and tell us years later that, you know, I came on your stream once and I went out and bought a model and holy hell, this is the best hobby I've ever had. Yeah. That stuff is crazy to think about.
And it's cool. We've got, so we, last week to this week, we've hired 4 new people, and we have 4 new members of the Monument Hobbies crew. And at least one of them, I think, doesn't have any connection to hobbying or gaming or anything like that. The others, I think, kind of have loose connections. So it's interesting though, because it is something that, you know, like we use Discord. Obviously, you guys know our Discord, but we also use, there's some spaces in there that are just for our team. And, you know, so I'm like, okay, so you got to get into our Discord. And you're going to see when you join the Discord, you're going to see all of the community involvement and how, just how passionate people are about their hobby and the talent that's out there. And yeah, it's crazy.
Showing off how you can really see it here, how those 2 layers of glaze really took and blended all of my sketchy brushstrokes. So again, even just doing things fast, you can get rid of all of your sketchiness very quickly just by putting the transparent filter layer over the top. Works like a champ. So again, another reason to kind of not be so afraid of using a sketchy style, not worrying about your blends at every stage, but you have to get used to that finer filter layer. You either do that, you know, brush or airbrush, either one, and you can get some really, really great results quick. I mean, we haven't spent much time on this guy at all.
Vlad, I think they train Amazon drivers to make things inconvenient.
To make what?
Make things inconvenient for us. As convenient as Amazon is and how great they are when they are great, when they're not great, they're the worst.
Amazon has for years sent us emails about how we need to update our store hours because they'll continue to try to deliver to us on Saturday or after hours. And they get mad at us for not being here.
Yep.
And we're like, all right, I need to inform you that our hours have been correct on your site forever. And every time we call or try to find out somebody that can help us, like, can you make that go away? They're like, no, that's something the driver does. Yeah. They initiate that when they show up in your clothes. They can, on the order, hit a deal that says, remind them to keep their store hours updated. And I'm like, well, our store hours are updated.
I would like to remind you, driver, to check my store hours.
Yeah, the driver just never checks the store hours, right? Well, I think that the driver is supposed to be automated from the standpoint of whatever's on their truck is deliverable in a particular window of time. So it's not the driver's fault.
Well, I mean,
it's Amazon's fault.
But yes, so when they know that we close at 4, because it says that on our Amazon profile, it's concerning when I track a package and it says it will be delivered by 10 p.m. I'm like, there's not going to be anyone here at 10 p.m.
Yeah, it turns out that isn't going to work real well.
Here before that. Yeah, it's crazy.
I'll leave the darkest purple up in this area where it's away from the light, kind of blend the burnt red in there, and then go burnt red pretty much full tilt on the top.
Wad said the texture trainer looks great.
Did you get yours?
I think he must have gotten it.
They're fun
thank you
models.
All for the
There's more in stock too if you're waiting on them.
Did you put more in today?
Well, it was taking the ones that were sold at LVO and removing them from store stock here.
Oh.
And that's not correct. They didn't ever put any in stock.
Oh, I didn't transfer any of those.
Yeah, because we didn't have them in the stock transfer for the show.
Yeah. Okay.
So, no.
Well, I mean, partly because
Gabe was supposed to come to you and let you know, but I think it just got miscommunicated on my end, actually.
It's been crazy around here. So yes, thank you all for the congratulations on our growth. Yeah, we have a fantastic team, but it's a process to get them trained, and they're all doing a great job. Creepy Kangaroo said, "Do you have a favorite miniature that you have painted?"
Yes.
Wait, before you show it, chat, you know what it's gonna be, right?
Yes. I have never been able to answer this question before because I've never had a favorite miniature I painted ever in the history of ever. I do now. What's his name?
Who is it?
What's his name, chat?
Say my name.
Say my name.
Yeah, pile of bodies.
Yeah. Bam.
Percival Chevalier V?
The 5th.
First of his name.
First of his name. Slayer of ankles. Destroyer of worlds.
Destroyer of worlds.
Right. And his perch. Oh, we're zoomed in too close. I've still got to finish the diorama. But he's going to be on top of this pile of bodies. Because this model is like the cutest thing on the planet, which is not naturally what I gravitate towards. But the first idea I had was to paint him up totally cute and then stick him on death, right? Just make him this thing that you look at and you're like, oh, it's harmless. Yeah. Okay, maybe not. So we've got him roosted on a pile of bodies. And I'm going to make a diorama that's like the corner of a bar that he's in.
There's several questions. I'm going to get to those too. I'm going to scroll back a little and we'll start getting to your questions if I can get my mouse to work.
Putting it on display at Adepticon. If I get it done in time, I'll have Percival at Adepticon in the case at our booth so people can see, but I typically don't.
Okay.
Enter it anywhere. There's not really anywhere to enter it, right? Not a model that you could put in any of the painting competitions.
Sapo said that armor is looking awesome. I'm working on some black cloth, started with panes, shaded down with black, up with mixed some bright neutral gray.
Nice. Yeah, works really well. I've been using a lot, on armor at least, I've been using a lot of the white blue, as you can see. The white blue is such a great highlight, but it fills that same spot that bright neutral gray would fill if I was doing cloth. So it's a great choice. Because cloth, I tend to stick to the warm or neutral grays as my additive for blacks. Works really well.
Lumberjack Tim said, now that I'm not with my wife, I don't paint. Is that saying something about my marriage? Maybe that it inspired you to paint? I think that's probably not what you were going for, but that's what I would say. Chuck said, I belong to a lot of Discord channels run by business entities. Monuments community is the best, hands down. Thank you for saying that.
It's funny because all we do is treat it like a place we want to hang out.
Yeah.
Just talk to people. We get a lot of people ask questions about product in there. Even if people have a problem with product, the community steps up and helps them out. It's just a great place.
And overall, just largely positive people. Everybody has bad days, but for the most part, everyone's super positive. Jason Waki, is there a big difference between glazing with a normal acrylic versus using a transparent paint?
No, the transparent will just get you there quicker, as opposed to like Pyro Red that I'm doing right now, right? I can glaze with it, but until you're comfortable with glazing, the transparents act a little bit better in terms of getting the opacity lowered easier for you to maintain. That makes sense? Opaque paints, until you get really comfortable with how to thin and dilute to get the opacity you're looking for, they're just a little bit more of a struggle for some people. So.
James Syram said, are you making this figure into one or more of the tutorial videos for the armor or cloak?
I mean, we have the stream that'll go live. I'm not really doing it in a tutorial sense. There's no reason why, these videos couldn't be parsed out. I know that's up to Gabe and his editing, but, definitely doing it in a style that allows us to see, because I did the cloak first on Thursday of last week when Jordan left.
Mm-hmm.
So we primed, finished the build, primed, and did the cloak, started the cloak, and got most of the underpainting done and the first layer of green done on Thursday. Then on Friday's stream, we finished the cloak and started on the armor, I believe, at least base the armor. And then a lot of the sketching on the armor yesterday, the armor with the glaze today, and now, we're there. So through these course of 3 or 4 videos, you'll be able to find everything you need. But we could definitely have Baby J do a tutorial on black armor. I think he has, though. But we can do a longer form tutorial on it in this method. I can work with him to refine this method for him. Our painting styles are a little bit different, so sometimes it doesn't translate as well from Baby J and the way he paints to the way I paint. I do a lot more underpainting and filtering, and he does a lot more just painting, right, and blending. So our styles complement one another, but sometimes it doesn't translate the same way if you're looking to see exactly what I did here.
Shyvender said, any fun highlights from LVO or Vegas? We didn't go.
Nope.
Jason and I did not go. We have 0 highlights. Jabe went, Schlebby went, Jordan went, and new guy Phil went.
I need a color that's not here.
Dork Depot, hello. How is Baby J feeling? Well, he is not here today, so hopefully by now he's starting to feel a little better, but I know as of this morning he wasn't doing great. Ghost Hunter said Percival really wants to go to MSS. I don't know what that is.
Wants to go where?
To MSS.
Monte San Savino.
Oh.
He would not survive Monte very well.
Why not?
I mean, I didn't paint him to be a display model. I mean, he looks good, but I didn't really paint to be a display. Monte is, where everybody puts in thousands of hours on a model.
Oh, it's a competition?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, it's like the biggest. Some other shows might say they would argue that they're bigger or more illustrious, but it's definitely one of the most illustrious. Oh, that's going to be gold. His trim will be more of a bronze. Dark golden brown to start his trim. And we'll
Shelby said LVO was great. Lots of fun interactions with lots of cool people. It was her very first show.
And boy, did she love it, which is great. Team had a great time, did a great job.
We know they had a dinner with Ben Comets. We know that they had a dinner with the Artist Opus crew. They got to see and hang out with some cool people. Aside from just the people attending.
I'm realizing that I didn't do his little tilt shield there. I didn't do the black on that. That's a shame.
T. Schmidt said he needs another cute model named Monty to be Percival's nemesis.
Oh, that would be great. Maybe Monty's the guy whose head got lopped off on the pile of bodies.
Ooh. Sure. No good. Sorry to hear that things have been rough. Monty should be a honey badger.
A honey badger?
Or a little snake dude.
Oh, like another anthropomorphic thing.
Or he could be the one who's playing dead in the pile. Is there one playing dead?
What do you mean?
Like someone in the pile of bodies that's not really dead?
Oh, there could be.
Could be pretending.
We kind of talked about that one time. That there should be a guy that's like, I'm not moving. I'm not. This owl's crazy. I am not moving.
Be another Humblewood model.
I don't remember what else there was.
Didn't Gabe get the...
Shelby got all the rest of the birds.
Shelby has them.
She's really excited to paint some of the birds. There was in there was a raven, wizard kind of thing. I don't remember the other birds.
Gabe said I bought all the Humblewood models. Yikes.
What else was there, Gabe? Weren't there some like undead birds? They're all birds. I feel like.
Much as I love Percival, birds are no. I thought I hit one the other day. When I was driving to work, there was a pigeon sitting in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
I'm like, well,
you should have moved.
Should get out of my way, as they usually do.
They're good about last minute dodging.
And then I heard it, but when I looked at the front of my car, I didn't see anything. Ooh, Shelby said I may or may not have plans to paint one pink, so that could easily be his nemesis if he shares the same hatred for pink that Jason does.
I mean, Percival can't stand pink. Even though he has some pink in the feather on his plume on his helmet. That just pisses him off.
Gabe said there's like deer and stuff, a fox, a bandit crew that were a mix of birds and mammals, big snake.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's 3:04 already.
Oh, geez.
We are going to be wrapping things up at about 3:30 today. Jason has an appointment at 4 off-site. Needs to travel there.
Sure, driving in the rain is going to be a lot of fun.
It does seem to have stopped raining. Well, it seems to have stopped pouring rain. That means it's completely stopped. But
those will be red.
oh, fun. Ustrella said, I recently got some cat models from Northumbrian Tin Soldier from their Cats of Crumptown line. They're really cute, and I'm planning on painting them up like my cats.
Nice.
You know, yesterday, it was so funny, I forgot to say that when I parked in the back, I got here, and there was a car parked out there.
Uh-huh.
And as I drove up, I thought there was a cat sitting under the car.
Uh-huh.
It was not a cat. It was a rabbit.
Oh, wow. Just like out in the street.
Just hanging out.
Or hanging out.
Hanging out. There were two guys doing like
I wonder if it was somebody's pet.
Like landscaping, and he was just chilling. He was just sitting there. I got up, I got close and took a picture of it and said hello. And
did it say hi back?
No.
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah. Little brown rabbit. Actually, he's not little. He's kind of chunky. So he looks like a well-fed pet. Is there grass there? Nope. It's a dirt lot.
It is a dirt lot.
I'll hold this up. I don't think you guys can see it very well, but right in front of the tire in the front, that's the rabbit. You have rabbits that hang out in your yard. This is not, I mean, there are houses behind our building, but it's not like, they're all fenced, you know. There's not a lot of, like, nature out there. It's very rocky, and, I mean, it's an alley. and
it could be somebody's pet that just kind of runs around.
Yeah.
Comes home every now and then. Seems like somebody probably doesn't like their rabbit much if they allow that to happen.
Yeah, it just roams the neighborhood.
Not the neighborhood you want your pet just roaming in.
Yeah, it was definitely unexpected. I was not...
Unexpected rabbit.
Cats all over the place. The other day when I was driving to work, I left in the house that...
Across the corner?
Yes.
It's like all the cats in the driveway.
They all hang out in the driveway? Yeah, there were like half a dozen of them just hanging out.
They put kibble out there for them.
Probably, yeah.
Like feeding birds.
Yeah.
They're all out there eating. The neighbors talked about that, how they feed those cats.
Oh.
Like,
well, yeah, because we also, in our neighborhood, so we live near a golf course, and we in our neighborhood Facebook group, the people are like paying attention to what goes on in the neighborhood. So anytime there's a coyote, or we've had foxes in the neighborhood recently, but the golf course is by our house, not by the office. The rabbit I saw here at the office, the cats that we were just talking about are by our house. Yeah, so to see all these like cats just roaming around the neighborhood, I don't know how they're not coyote food. Because yeah, coyotes, foxes. The other day someone said there was a bobcat, which all somewhat common because of the golf course, but yeah. But in this neighborhood, there's nothing. I personally didn't see it, so it could be either. Asherella. Or there you go. Add a third one in there. No, we haven't seen any in our yard, and our dog is big, and our garbage is covered. Which I know they can get into, but we haven't seen any disruption to our garbage can or our recycle bin or anything like that.
Not the only way we have is some of the cats poop in our yard.
Yeah, we definitely get cats poop in our yard.
I'm playing that very well. If that thing should be gold. It is now.
Fabian, are you asking about in our neighborhood, or like are you asking about the trees that cats can climb into to get away from predators? I'm not sure. We do live in a desert, but in the suburbs, I mean, it's not, you don't feel like you're in a desert. We have trees and grass and stuff in our neighborhood.
We're downtown.
We have a lot of...
For all intent and purpose.
In our neighborhood, there are some people with beautiful grass lawns. We have, in our backyard, we have rocks. And in our front yard, we had, when we just moved into our house in June, and it came with grass. We didn't like that. So we took the grass out and we put artificial turf in. So it looks really pretty. And it's super easy to take care of.
We live in a desert. We like rocks and fake grass.
We don't love rocks, but not in the backyard. We don't love the rocks. The rocks we have in the front are cool.
Yeah, the rocks in the back need a
just
redo
like
at some point.
Standard landscaping gravel in our backyard. In the front, we have big river rocks, which are cool.
Not really that much to do gold on him. I guess I might do the shield the same bronze. I didn't realize that there's no like gilding or anything down on the armor down low, like the skull on the ankle. There's nothing else. The crossed swords are traditionally red or white. Probably figure out something with his gun later on. But yeah, there's not a whole lot of trim. He's got shoulders, backpack.
Yeah, Avian, that's the issue. It's not too bad, but yeah, every once in a while, the cats come and use our yard as their litter box, and Cora immediately finds it.
Yeah, she does.
Game Delay said, when we lived in Tucson, we found out the hard way that the little cacti that look soft and fuzzy are not. They're not.
All cactus just want hugs.
And we don't, thankfully, the rocks do not require mowing. Although we do get weeds.
I have to pull the weeds.
And we do tend to lose some of the rocks when we clean up the dog poop. Someone had told us, use Elmer's glue to get the spines off. Advice our 3-year-old benefited from. So the 3-year-old saw the soft and fuzzy, not really cactus. That's a bummer. Oh, Paris Island said rocks, tasty, tasty rocks, which is a reference that was lost on me. But apparently it was related to Never Ending Story and Labyrinth.
Oh, yeah, the big rock guy. Rock biter or whatever he was.
In North Carolina, you have 2 choices. Rake the pine needles off the grass or pluck the grass out of the pine needles.
Neverending Story was such a great flick. I think Sean Connery did the dragon. Right? Or am I wrong on that one?
Oh, in Never Ending Story?
Was Sean Connery the dragon? Was that Dragonheart? Okay. I just remember Sean Connery played a dragon at some point in time. Who was the...
yeah, Avian said Dragonheart was Sean Connery.
Who was the dragon in... the name Balfour? I forget what his name is. The dog. It was basically a flying dog. Did not look like a dragon at all.
Falcor.
Falcor. A luck dragon. I don't care.
Oh.
I don't care. Look like a dog. He's a big flying dog.
JP Gray. Hello. 316.
Have you seen the... I am going to do the shield in the same bronze. Have you seen the meme? Or it's not even a meme. It's a toy. There's a guy out there, or maybe there's multiple people out there, who do these toys that are like action figures from my youth, but they do them in really funny ways. They make ones that are just like totally irreverent. And so they made Atreyu and his horse. You know, when he was trying to pull him out of the swamp of sorrows or whatever it was, and the horse wound up dying. The horse gave in to sorrow. The guy made an action figure toy set of it with Atreyu trying to pull a horse out of the swamp. It's like the saddest moment in the movie. This guy, I forget what he called it. He's like, It's like Boy and Horse Friend. You know, they name it like silly names, like knockoff Wish.com toys, but all done in severely bad taste.
Anthony, hello.
The sad, yeah, exactly. Saddest part of the movie right there.
It's no wonder our generation has depression issues.
Because that was your hit movie. Never Ending Story.
I've never seen it.
Well, it was not our generation.
It was not?
No, that was my sister's generation.
Oh, okay.
It was just something my sisters loved, so I watched it a million times. That and The Last Unicorn. This is all stuff that was my sister's world.
They're saying Alan Oppenheimer was the voice of Falkor.
Okay, so nobody would care about it. That sucks. I wanted it to be Sean Connery.
James Billy said, I read Neverending Story a few years ago, and the movie was only half the book, and honestly, it was the better half.
Really? So a case of the book not being better than the movie, or the book was also good, just didn't add anything in for extra length? That's interesting.
Tim said Alan Oppenheimer was also the voice for Skeletor.
Well, there's a claim to fame if ever there was one. He-Man.
Avian, are we close to the same age? Are you saying that we got our damage from Disney? Or is that younger?
That's older than us, right?
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's what he's saying. Every old school Disney movie and Something Wicked This Way Comes. Etsy has a set of 3D printed busts you can base and paint of Atreyu and Artax.
Artax, that was a horse. Is it him pulling Artax in the Swamp of Sorrows? Is it that same deal? I couldn't paint that.
Yeah, he said
That's
make your
mean.
own Swamp of Sadness diorama.
Yeah, it's too mean. I couldn't paint that on stream. It's too sad. Like that part of the movie is like literally heartbreaking. That poor kid goes through everything, and Artax is like the hero, always faithfully by his side, and then the horse gives up.
And this is Neverending Story?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a brutal movie.
No.
It's not I mean, it's a kid's movie in a sense, but it's very adult themed. The Nothing. It's like nihilism is coming for the world, and everybody's trying to find a way to not be depressed.
It's a slapstick comedy.
Everybody's giving up hope. The nothing's coming. The world is over. And there's this one kid racing against time to try to convince the princess that the world is worth saving.
If you painted on stream, Twitch would have to pop up with a trigger warning.
Yeah.
Didn't the main character lose his mother, and this is his way of coping? Oh. It's one giant acid trip. And this is for children?
Yep. I mean, this is back when kids were made of sterner stuff, so could handle it.
I thought it wasn't our generation. I thought it was your sister's generation.
Well, it was at the tail end of ours.
Oh, okay.
I think.
I think we were the last.
It was before trigger warnings.
We were the last of the strong ones, I think.
It was before trigger warnings were necessary. Put it that way.
Before the warning sign about the coffee being hot.
You didn't have, yeah, you didn't have to say on the preview of the movie, "Hey, the dog dies at the end."
It was Tim's generation. He's 42. Okay. 80s.
Yeah, it's just right behind
us.
you know, it's like that same like Legends with Tom Cruise.
I don't know.
You never saw that?
No.
Fantastic movie. One of the best fantasy movies ever made, I would say. Tom Cruise as a fantasy hero. Tim Curry as the devil. Really, really good. Very like very dark and brooding, and it's just right up my alley. But, you know, a tale of love and right conquering all.
Anthony Guido knows what's up. He said Generation X is the best.
Yep. Agreed.
So back when we had our own house keys at 5 years old.
Yes. Latchkey kids.
The time before children were special. We were seen but not heard.
Hell, we weren't hardly seen.
No.
Come home before the street lights are out, or come home when the street lights come on.
Baby J abandoned us.
Never heard of that guy. Quitter.
Hope you're feeling better, Jordan.
Quitter.
Did the rain wake you up, Jordan?
Good God. If you could sleep through that, that's pretty brutal.
The time when crying was not an option. Shake it off. You're fine.
Are you dead? No. Get back at it, kid. Well, it should be. I'll stick to my guns on that. Trophies mean something.
You're fine.
Trophies mean something. Winning has value. All that kind of stuff.
Avian and Anthony both just said rub dirt on it.
Yeah.
Walk it off.
Rub a little dirt on it, walk it off.
Baby who now? I'll give you some. They all have, like, our people are here. I'll give you something to cry about. And then someone else says, I'll give you something to cry about. Meanwhile, the bone is outside of my skin. No need for safe spaces. That's right.
I was skateboarding one day, and it was time to come home. Or maybe we were headed for one of our buddies, had to go check in with his mom on something or something like that. And they had a boat. And so the boat was out in the driveway, the trailer tongue, it was on the trailer, obviously, and the trailer tongue pointing out towards the street. And so we were coming back in, skating down the street, and came to his house. And he went inside, and we're outside skating in the street or whatever. We're outside skating in the street waiting on him. And I don't remember what trick I was doing, but I did some trick. And a buddy of mine goes, oh, you know what you need to do is you need to do that onto the trailer, you know? And it was like a ollie kick flip something. And I was like, okay, yeah, cool. You know? And I'm like, oh, that's perfect, because the trailer tongue was probably up 2 feet off the ground or something like that, right? And I was like, oh, yeah, I could do like tail tap on the tongue of the trailer. And so I get a big head of steam and the little bump as you go up under the driveway, and I hit that. I do my trick. I get into the air, and as I come down, you know, it all happens really quick when you realize how stupid you are, right? And I realized at the last moment that while this sounded like a good idea, the front of the tongue of the trailer is round, and so the tail of my board is never going to stay there. And so I'm like, oh, so I kind of like, it taps, the tail of the skateboard taps the thing, and I kind of gave up, right? There's a deal where when you're trying something, you know it's not going to work. In your mind, you kind of give up, and then your body's not going to do it. And so the board goes flying off, and my shin goes smack front into the trailer deal, knocked the trailer off the blocks that it was on, right? And he had one of these deals that, if you know trailers at all, it has a pin latch, right? There's a latch that holds the little forks that keep the trailer hitch in place. And that pin latch has a hole in it where you can put a lock. Well, instead of a lock, they had just a right angle piece of steel rod, and it was shoved in there and then bent on the other end so it couldn't come out. But it was about, 12 inches long, sticking out the front. And when my shin hit it, that thing went all the way through my leg. It bounced off my shin and went through the back of my muscle, out through the back of my leg. And I'm standing there, the whole trailer bumped and went down. And I'm standing there, and I look down real quick, and I go, "Oh my God!" And I yank my leg off of this thing. Right? And my friend comes up, and this is our generation. My friend, I'm like, holy crap! And I'm looking down, and if you get a puncture wound, at first it just turns bright white for some weird reason. So it's white, and then little pinpricks of red start showing up, and then it gushes blood. Yeah. Right? And I'm looking at it, and I'm sitting there looking at the front and staring down, and going, "That's not good." And my friend's in the back going, "It went all the way through," and he's poking the back of my leg. He's like poking the back of my leg, and of course I can't feel anything because the adrenaline's on. So all I know is it feels like a big bruise from my knee down on my leg. Yeah. But he's poking the back of my leg going, "It went all the way through, I think," because there's a hole on the back of my leg too.
Anthony Guido just said, "We went to the store and bought our parents cigarettes," and that is 100% accurate. My mom was not a smoker, but my best friend's mom was, and she would write a note and send us to 7-Eleven to buy her cigarettes at like 8 years old.
Yeah. And they get to know you and they're like, "All right."
Different times.
Like, all right.
It is 3:28, so.
Exactly. Like, Phil, exactly, right? It was like, oh. And it was just gushing blood, and I just got some paper towels and hit it down, and I was like, I think I need to go home. I didn't continue on with the day because it did really hurt. But here's this rusty piece of steel sticking out. Maybe it wasn't rusty. Maybe it was powder coated. I don't know. But it was just a piece of steel, went all the way through my leg, and I just went home and like took a shower, right? And like wrapped it with paper towels or whatever, put Band-Aids on it, and never did anything about it. And I still have this scar on the front of my leg. I can show you this spot where it went in. And I cut the whole tip of my finger off, right? The whole tip of this finger. You can see this scar right there. Right? It went all the way across the front, and that whole thing was just torn over, right? The nail was gone, and that was torn over. And I was just like, well, then put it back over and put a paper towel around it and some electrical tape, and went home and went to sleep. There you go. I went home and took a nap.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm still here.
Totally. Anybody could walk up and put a bunch of coins in the vending machine and get cigarettes. That was a weird thing.
Forge notes from your folks so that you could have cigarettes for yourself. I wasn't a smoker, so I never cared. I thought smoking was horrible, so all my friends smoked, but I was like, nah, thanks. All right, we're making progress. Got some base coats down and everything else, so it's starting to come together, right? Starting to look like a thing. I haven't gone back and touched up any of the highlights. I want to get a little bit of the gold done before we do anything more to the black armor. A lot of what you'll see me do is work on a part of the model until I get somewhat close to finish, and then do all the stuff around it, so that we can then judge how bright to make the armor based on how bright the gold is. Because the gold has the ability to be the brightest thing on the model, so we don't want to over brighten the armor, right? So if we go with the gold and we take the pinpoint highlights on the gold to like white, then the armor may not need much more. But if the gold stays a little bit more muted, then the armor may be able to get a little bit brighter. So we'll play around with it, see how it turns out. But our black armor's reading pretty well now after all that blue. Digging it. Remember, transparent black and transparent blue work wonders. So thank you. Remember, we are ending a little bit early today because I have a meeting at 4 that I got to run off to, so I apologize for that. But we stream 5 days a week, so if you're new around here, please hit that follow button so you can get updates on when we go live. But we stream Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. generally, Mountain Standard Time, Arizona time here in the United States. We'd love to see you back around. So make sure to check out all the links that Jen is going to throw up in chat. You can, or you already did it, so it's just they already scrolled all the way past. So check out all the links. Make sure to join our Discord. Make sure to check out the YouTube for all the past video content. We scoot all of the live VODs from here over to YouTube, as well as all of our shorts, commercials, and other tutorial content is up there. And make sure to check out the store and the FLGS link so that you can find Monument Hobbies product close to you. Look forward to seeing you back here. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, gang. We will catch you tomorrow. We're out of here. Adios.